to another edition of Evan Ginzburgs Legends TV. I'm Evan's co-host, Steve Ludwig. We're live from Madhouse Studios, and we have a great show for you today. A little later on, we're going to be speaking with Grammy winner Bobby Eli, rapper, young street wrestler Chris Michaels, and Evan will be with us, of course, a little later on. But right now, we are so happy and privileged to start the show off with the beautiful, very talented Raniere Martin, and she has a tribute to Miss Donna Summer. Later on, we'll be speaking with Raniere about very exciting projects she has coming up as well. But right now, Ms. Raniere Martin, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. tight, but you one of the time. You ask yourself, are they all like everybody else? They come from here and go. Such a dirty bad girl. Last dance, last chance for love. Yes, it's my last chance. Romance tonight. Oh, I need you by me, beside me. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Michaels. I'm the Superstars of Wrestling United States Heavyweight Champion. And I'm here to introduce, from Tyler, Texas, by way of Bed-Stuy, Brooklyn, here he is, the Madhouse TV debut of Young Street.
Swag, 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 swag. Hey, I pulled up stunned in the Chevy on foes. Tank on foil and my wrist on froze. Bad chicks, no clothes, dick like J-Lo. On the way to the club, blowing on hydro with a first class swag. I always fly here somewhere in the sky, flowing like butterflies. Horse playing the polo shirts, big horse on the front. In jeans with horseshoes, that's the logo. True jeans and polo, no photo, but I should be paid for promo. I be making fashion statements. Fly in the words, I'll cash this clay lips. Swag on lock, go ask the bailiff. Designer should pay me because I mastered they fit. Swag on lock, swag on lock, go ask the bailiff. I got a first class swag. It ain't no man's better than, flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran. My swag need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag. He need a first class swag. She like my first class swag. Come see my first class swag. My swagger priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. Remember swag first class, no joke. Get em. Super swagger bag and chicken store on Mountain Road. Super swagger bag and chicken store on Mountain Road. Super swagger bag and chicken store on Mountain Road. Quick like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Swagger the OD, I got a double dosage from a double cup. No jump rope, I got a double dust. Blunt doubled up. Loud. 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 Hey, no one on the corner got a swagger like this. No one on the corner got a swagger like this. No one on the corner got a swagger like this right now. Not even in the afterlife, bitch. Search high and low for a swagger like mine. You can search high and low for a swagger like mine. You can search high and low, search high and low. But no one on the corner got a swagger this fine. No one on earth got a swag this prime. I ain't gotta say a word for me to bag a nice dime. When you backing up, the only time you back a nice dime. Grind nigga, grind hand in hand on the corner. Just so you can shine in a new pair of Jordans. I can throw a pro kids in a white t-shirt so I can still turn heads, bitch, your wifey flirt. Like I'm Ginzburgs. Plus I got game like Johnny Manziel. From dawn till dusk, we be at the hotel using superpowers. I got a first class swag. It ain't no man's better than, flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran. My swag need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag. He need a first class swag. She like my first class swag. Come see my first class swag. My swag priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. Man, my swag first class, no joke. Peep the swag, step out fly, keep the tag. Bought the old school, told the dealer keep the jag. Chrome posits, crusted diamond and stone watches. Rolling on my wrist, got all the bras watching, loving me. You can't make another me. Swag so lovely. You ain't just try to clone, but I'm red, you burgundy. I'm rare and certainly turning heads. My bright, then turning heads. Got white men turning heads on your mark. Wait for the cue to go. To start pointing your cuticles. My swag sharper than the arrowhead the cupid throw. That's on a day-to-day basis. Usually my swag needs surgery. My swag come from Mercury. I ain't lying, it's perjury. Oh, see me and get dehydrated and thirsty. I hate you thirsty. I should get you a glass. If you get you some swag, then I can get you some ass. Maybe not. You can't buy swag with your cash. You should go back to school and make swag in first class. First class. I got a first class swag. It ain't no man's better than, flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran. My swag need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag. He need a first class swag. She like my first class swag. Come see my first class swag. My swag priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. My swag first class, no joke. Young Street, Texas. We here, man. Yeah. This is a more conscious song, man. I'm about to take you to the streets. Come on this journey with me. Yeah. Hey, let me take you to the hood, let me take you to the streets. I can show you the slums, homie, cause that's where I eat. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on. The hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Raised in the hood, came from the streets. Come journey with me to a place where most don't achieve, cause most don't believe their goals could be reached. Most rappers they pollute, but I'ma be the one to teach. A role model in the rap star position. Let me petition in opposition. Not gonna focus on how I got my dropper sitting. I'm young street, hip hop's new addition. Get the streets ambition, drive and determination. From the bottom I'ma rise, now the haters hating. I swallowed all my pride, see I'm out paper chasing. I talk like Barack, my speech so amazing. Tell me why most rappers like identical twins. One be original, the other copy is trend. All these artists in the game, they sound in the same. Cloning each other's flow, it's like they're scared of change. Hood, let me take you to the streets. I can show you the slums, homie, cause that's where I eat. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on. Hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. I see eye to eye with the streets. Hear me on radios and get the drive that you need. No car on feet, moving at a high speed. Riding with a hot team, waiting on my time to start. Shining like some high beams. No ice, but make you put your blinkers on like you're trying to turn. Everything I say steaming like a steam urn. I just keep it real talk. Other rappers unconcerned. My message gon' recreate like the human man sperm. Spit that fire. Recognize talent from the start. Much work in, everything was hard earned. Dope is dope, boy, you know. Go where you won't, do what you don't. I'm lyrically a lyricist who's so lyrical. If you feeling me, you hearing this and know I got the flow. Cause I get in your head like a beautician. Just a few scriptures to prove that I'm what the youth missing. Hey, let me take you to the hood, let me take you to the streets. I can show you the slums, homie, cause that's where I eat. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on, take you to the hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the hood, the gutter, the streets. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on. Even though my wardrobe cleaner than Clorox, that's part of the topic. Versatility make me more hot. The judge just gave my brother more time than your clock. Should a nigga die cause he grinding your block? My partner wanted more cheese, got caught with 4 keys. Be greedy, trying to pick out like Porky. We lack the motivation without a strong foundation. These negative situations, get your hopes down, but keep your head up. Get a universal sovereignty. That is the right to rule. But the question is who has the right to rule and also whose rule is right. Many years of human history say it's been more suffering. In the past century, we need better conditioning. Violence is rampant, drug abuse is epidemic, and STDs continue to spread. Hood, let me take you to the streets. I can show you the slums, homie, because that's where I eat. Let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on. Hey, come on. Yeah. Hey, let me take you to the ghetto, the gutter. Let me take you to the gutter, come and journey through the streets. Come on. It's your boy, man, Young Street, Tyler, Texas. I be in Brooklyn, man. That's where I'm at, man. Look me up.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Are you planning an event and want to include entertainment, but you're not sure where to turn?
Act1Entertainment.net has provided over 1,500 events with quality, affordable live entertainment at private parties, corporate affairs, festivals, bike rallies, and more. Act 1 will fit into your budget. They're friendly, reliable, and do all the legwork for you. They take all major credit cards. Log on to Act1Entertainment.net for a free, no-obligation price quote or call 631-758-3505 for a brochure.
You'll be happy you did.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, DMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with the one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
We're going to do a live commercial. Hi, I'm Renee Marie. I'm the president of Language of Love Incorporated Foundation. I'm really happy to tell you that we're going to be doing a Language of Love telethon on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. Please look for the location on my website, ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And the show will be hosted on the Madhouse TV. It really is important for you to be aware of strokes and aphasia. Strokes is the third leading cause of death in America and the first leading cause of disability. And it really is something that plays no favoritism. And it also really comes when you're not expecting. Nobody expects to have a stroke, and nobody expects to suffer from aphasia, and it really does make a huge impact in your life and change your life in one split second. So we look forward to having everyone join us once again on March 29, 2015 from 2 p.m. to 8 p.m. And you could follow us on ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. Once again, it's ReneeMarieLanguageOfLove.org. And we look forward to seeing you. God bless.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidisciplinary practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our two offices. Thank you.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Legends TV. What a great start to the new year with great live entertainment. We have people that have come from Texas and Philly and all around the country for Legends TV. We are joined by my co-host who's been out for a while, Steve Ludwig. How are you feeling?
Okay, I came from Fort Lee, New Jersey.
That's right.
To be here.
That's right.
But I'm feeling much better. Thanks, Evan. I just want to real quickly thank all the nurses and doctors at Holy Name Hospital in Teaneck. They just, you know, it wasn't. Thank goodness it turned out to be okay, but I didn't know at the time, and they really just took great care of me. And one of the doctors actually gave us his cell phone number for over the weekend to call him at home.
Wow.
If we need, rather than his
you don't get service. A lot of that today.
No, so I just wanted to.
And you're not turning into a zombie. You're a big horror fan.
No, I did notice my eyes were a little redder today. I'm walking a little more slowly.
That's right.
I don't think it's any zombie thing, though.
And you're hungry for brains. So,
well, that's been my whole life, though.
That's right. So, Young Street, all the way from Texas, Chris Michaels returning to the show. And Young Street, how did you make the move from Texas to Brooklyn? That's 3,000 miles or so, right?
Yeah, well, my dad is originally from New York, born and raised in the Bronx. So, you know, he moved to Texas, and that whole family thing happened and brought me. But, you know, I was brought up doing music. My dad is a musician, played drums, keyboard, bass guitar. So my whole childhood, he was pretty much like forcing me to practice. And as I got older and, you know, I started trying to find myself, I was like, okay, what I really want to do. And the music kept coming to my head. So I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to go to New York.
All right. And what style of music does your dad play?
Well, my dad is in a band, and they pretty much do like old school Earth, Wind and Fire, Temptations, all of that type of stuff.
So from a kid on, you had good music in the
Yeah,
house.
I definitely had
That's
good
awesome.
music.
That's awesome. And what is the scene like in Texas? It's known for a rock scene. They've always had a good blues scene. What's the hip hop scene like there?
Well, the hip hop scene has been around since like '89 with UGK, you know, Bun B and Pimp C, Underground Kings. Jay Prince is pretty much the one who runs the hip hop scene, you know, in Houston. Houston and Dallas. Dallas is starting to evolve with hip hop with artists like Doro, DSR. But where I'm from, little old Tyler, Texas. I lived in Dallas, you know, for a few years, but Tyler, Texas, we really haven't had any mainstream artists to blow up yet. So I felt like I didn't see it happening at home. So I felt like I needed to take that step to go somewhere where it's a lot of opportunity, and that was New York City.
There you go. And you're sitting in a studio today with legendary producer Bobby Eli.
Yes.
So the people you meet in New York, it might be a little easier than Texas sometimes, right?
It definitely is, because you're not going to meet nobody in Tyler, Texas. Maybe Earl Campbell might come through.
Okay, okay. And Steve?
I just wanted to mention, you know, I love Young Street and what he just did for us, but in the sporting sense, I hate the Dallas Cowboys.
Ah, man, I love the Cowboys, man. We them boys. Everybody going to hate us when we win the Super Bowl.
How you like those Giants? Oh, man.
How you like those referees? But
how you like those Knicks?
Yeah.
The Knicks are scary.
I mean, I could lose in basketball, and it doesn't take much from me because I'm horrible. But I could probably do a better job than they're doing now.
Wow. So Chris Michaels, I want to dedicate this show to the memory of Tim Austin, a mutual friend from the wrestling community. Tell us a little about Tim, who passed this week.
Tim started out actually when he was, I guess, in his late teens. He started going to Johnny Rod's Unpredictable School of Wrestling. And he started working the independent wrestling scene with Tommy D, who you're familiar with from back then, another one, he rest in peace also. And I guess his most notable character that he's most known for is the ECW Zombie, which
he did on national TV all of like once, right?
Yes, he was the only person in ECW that they were actually allowed him to get into the gimmick. And for those of you that don't know what gimmick is, other than looking at the wrestlers as they are now, you know, from the Attitude Era from WWE, everybody had their own name and they were their own persona. Nobody came out dressed up like a sailor or a dragon, or, you know, you can pretty much understand what I'm saying. So everyone else kind of came out there. The hardcore scene was their thing, and he was the only guy that actually came out as a gimmick persona. And he had his, I guess it was on WWE, had some kind of a debut match he had to go on. And since it didn't take off there, he took it on to the independent scene.
Right.
He was pretty well known for doing that, going to Puerto Rico.
Yeah, well known in Puerto Rico, big star in Puerto Rico, and only 38 years old. So Tim Austin, the ECW Zombie, we want to dedicate the show. And speaking of wrestling and music, the rock and wrestling connection was back in the 80s. How did you guys connect, Street? Interesting combination.
Well, since I've been up here in New York, like, just been working when I'm not doing shows or, you know, different events, I be in the streets, man, all over the East Coast, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, pushing my own music independently because at the time I'm unsigned. So I was in Brooklyn pushing my music, and he came through and he bought my CD.
There you go.
And that's how we started networking.
Now you're sitting here.
Yeah. And that's how it happened.
Well,
interesting.
Pretty much.
Interesting.
I decided to go get my car washed, and as the guys were doing the detailing, drying the car off and whatnot, I hear a voice coming from behind me and see, you know, big, young, strapping black guy, and I'm thinking to myself, all right, you know, what's his deal? So I figured, let me hear him out. And, you know, he's got his whole, his whole routine down, and he's coming out there, you know, young guy, I'm pushing my stuff, I got my CDs, and anything you could do, you know, to help me out or whatever, and this and that. And I'm like, all right, you know what? I'll throw you a few bucks. And I said, I'm going to show you something. Check this out. I popped my trunk. I pulled my my heavyweight championship belt out. We took a couple photos. We exchanged some information, and the rest pretty much fell into place. And this is 4 months in the making. So this has been something that we've been discussing for quite some time. And as time has finally ticked its way down, here we are. And Here's his first debut on Madhouse
Worldwide
TV.
TV.
Worldwide, yeah.
That's
so
right.
we're getting all the views out there. So here it is, man. This is a, you could say, I knew Young Street when.
There you go. And you were on 106th and Park on
Yeah.
BET. Tell us about that experience.
I think that's kind of funny because, like, I came to New York February 10th, 2008. I drove up here by myself, no license, no insurance, like just chasing my dream. And I was in a group back home. And
This is in Texas?
Yeah, in Texas. I was in a music group back home.
It's a long trip without a license.
Yeah, and just the story, what I went through on that, it was crazy. The devil was really trying to get me to go back home, but I kept pushing. Like, so my group didn't want to come with me. And I told them, we got to get out of here. We got to go to the big city.
Yeah.
So they didn't come. And then March 28th of 2008, about a month later, I'm on national television on BET performing. And it was beautiful how I got into that situation. I was out pushing my music in Manhattan, and I noticed like a big group of people. And I'm like, what's going on over here? So I went, and the guy who was orchestrating the line, you know, I ended up rapping for the people on the line, and they was feeling me. And they basically threw me in, like, the next week, basically, like, yo, we're going to get you on. And, you know, even though I was kind of unprepared, it was a beautiful thing. And I got a lot of publicity from that. So far, you know, I'm one of the only people from my city, Tyler, Texas, to ever be on BET 106 in Park.
Wow.
And I got to perform, you know, some of my songs. I'm from Texas. And Floyd Mayweather was there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, so I'm just waiting to bump into him again. So
interesting.
Yeah.
You should let him bankroll you. He's got enough money.
Listen, just support me forever.
Really, really.
Nah, but
so the moral of the story is really you got to be in it to win it. You're out there and you're constantly promoting yourself. You've moved 30,000 CDs.
Yes.
I know indie artists that give away downloads. They haven't sold one. You're doing okay.
Yeah, I came out here with an attitude like, listen, like, this is my music. I'm no different from any mainstream artist. You know, I got the talent, I got the drive and ambition. So if they could sell their music, I can sell my music too. And I'm doing it with, you know, no promotion except word of mouth and, you know, online. And, you know, I just go to different cities, different states, different malls, different streets, shopping areas, and I just work hard and grind. And I thank God that, you know, it's a lot of people out there that's into the music and support. And he just put me in the right places, man. So
I also think, like Chris was saying, I think people get a sincere, positive vibe from you, as opposed to this is hard sell. You know, you have to. You know, on the subway, people are always selling stuff, and it's like it's too hard sell sometimes. But I think people want to support you. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would say, hard because
thing.
You know, everything's bigger in Texas. I guess my ambition is a little bit bigger than a lot of, you know, other people, but it's definitely hard selling. But, you know, I be sincere. I'm sincere. I'm very passionate about music. It was some days, you know, where I really wasn't making too many sales. And, you know, I done stood, like, on the strip and, like, shed a tear, like, because I love this. Like, But, you know, every day, you know, God blesses me. And that's who I thank for it, man.
They say nobody can promote themselves better than themselves because you believe in yourself and, you know, it's going to come out when you're moving your product.
And I also, I act. And I'm trying to get into modeling. So
there you go.
I'm in it's an independent film called Colorblind. I don't know if you heard of the stage play, and it was a book called Colorblind.
That's awesome.
But a Grammy-nominated producer, Mikey J, he's directing the movie Colorblind, and I play a bartender named Eddie in that movie. So, you know, they're going to go through the film festivals, and hopefully we see that.
And you should do the same thing. Go to every film festival, shake hands, give out your CDs, network. That's how you make things happen.
Definitely will, man.
I was associate producer on The Wrestler. We did the film festival circuit.
Yeah, I seen a little bit of that online. I was looking it up.
It's a great place to meet people.
And, you know, Evan, Chris, and Young know better than I, but I think grassroots for indie artists is the way to go. Just hit the pavement, and because no one's going to come to you. Have you found that, Evan?
There's guys that have gone from major labels to independent, like Raheem DeVaughn. You know, and this way you're keeping 100% instead of a minute fraction, you know, and chasing down record companies. You know, it is the way to go in a sense.
Yeah, I've also noticed that like some of the biggest artists like started this way, like Master P, Jay-Z. A lot of artists started off selling their own music, you know, out the trunk of their cars, And I believe that brings a bigger and broader fan base because people actually seen the come up. You know, I seen him out there in the streets, up and coming artist selling his own music, and now I see him at every award show. It's like, and you just planting seeds. So everybody gets, you're a real person to a lot of people. Like, I'm a real person to over 30,000 people who I sold the copies of my CDs to, because like they know me.
They can relate to you.
Yeah, and I don't sell my music. You know, I most people donate. You know what I mean? So it's more like I'm just promoting myself because there's no like really set price for my CD. I will come up to you and be like, hey, I'm Young Street. I'm from Texas. Tell you what I've been doing. Show you online on my phone, and you know you make a donation, whatever you can afford. This is my music, and just people donate.
And speaking of your music, we're gonna go to a video now. Why don't you set it up for us?
All right, this is my first music video, First Class Swag. I just performed it on YouTube. Check it out, just Young Street, YUNGSTREAT. This is my video.
Check it out.
Swag, 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 swag. I pulled up stunting in the Chevy on foes. Tank on full and my wrist on froze. Bad bitch, no clothes, stick like J-Lo. On the way to the club, blowing on hydro with a first class swag. Always fly, hair somewhere in the sky, floating like butterflies. Hearts playing the polo shirts, big hearts on the front, play hard shoes and jeans with hard shoes. That's the logo, true jeans and polo. No photo, but I should be paid for promo. I be making fashion statements, fly in the words off Cash's playlist. Swag on lock, go ask the bailiff. Designer should pay me because I master they fit. Swag on lock, swag on lock, swag on lock, go ask the bailiff. I got a first class swag, it ain't no man's better than flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran. My swagger need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag. He need a first class swag. She like my first class swag. Come see my first class swag. Street, my swag priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. Remember swag first class, no joke. Get 'em. Super swagger bagging bitches home Mountain Road. Super swagger bagging bitches home Mountain Road. Super swagger bagging bitches home Mountain Road. Quick like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Swagging on OD, I got a double dosage from a double cup, no jump rope. I got a double dutch, so my blood doubled up. Loud, loud, loud. Hey, no one on the corner got a swagger like this. No one on the corner got a swagger like this. No one on the corner got a swagger like this right now. Not even in the afterlife, bitch. Search high and low for a swagger like mine. You can search high and low for a swagger like mine. You can search high and low, search high and low. But no one on the corner got a swagger that's fine. No one on earth got a swagger that's prime. I ain't gotta say a word for me to bag a nice dime. When you backing up, the only time you bag a nice dime. Grind nigga, grind hand in hand on the corner. Just so you can shine in a new pair of Jordans. I can throw on pro kids in a white t-shirt, so I can still turn heads at your white feet flirt. Like I'm Denzel, plus I got game like Johnny Manziel. From down till dusk, we be at the hotel using superpowers. I got a first class swag, it ain't no man's better than flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran, my swagger need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag, he need a first class swag. She like my first class swag, come see my first class swag. Street, my swag priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. Remember swag first class, no joke. Peep the swag, step out fly, keep the tag. Bought the old school, told the dealer keep the jack. Phone posits and crusted diamond and stone watches. Rolling on my wrist, got all of the hoes watching, loving me. You can't make another me, the swag so lovely. Your haters can try to clone, but I'm red, you burgundy. I'm rare and certainly turn the heads. My bright, they turn the heads. Got white, men turn the heads. On your mark, wait for the cue to go. To stop on your cuticles. My swag sharper than the arrow at the cupid throw. That's on a day-to-day basis. Usually your swag needs surgery. My swag come from Mercury, I ain't lying, it's perjury. Hoes see me and get dehydrated and thirsty. How hate you thirsty? I should get you a glass. If you get you some swag, then I can get you some ass. Maybe not. You can't buy swag with your cash. You should go back to school and make swag your first class. First class. I got a first class swag, it ain't no man's better than flyer than aircraft. I'm an aviation veteran, my swagger need medicine cause it's so sick. Take a peek at the swag, but you get nauseous. I got a first class swag, he need a first class swag. She like my first class swag, come see my first class swag. Street, my swag priceless in first class. You can't buy this with your cash. Way out of economy, something you can't coach. Remember swag first class, no joke.
All right. Young Street with the Lamborghini. All right. So, Chris, tell us about any upcoming wrestling events.
We have January 23rd, just a couple days away, actually, right? Today's the 10th, so 13 days away. Avenel, New Jersey. Superstars of Wrestling returns once again.
This sounds like a promo. I like it.
Right? Yeah. And we're going to be out there, all the guys in action again, and go on to my Facebook page. You can look on my Chris Michaels fan page, and you'll be able to look up the show's address and all the information for that. There's also Superstars of Wrestling. You could also put that in the search, look it up, keep up to date with all the wrestling talent and all the shows that are coming up in the future, because this year of 2015, at least one a month all over the state of New Jersey, and eventually we're going to start segueing into New York. So that's kind of exciting. So I'm waiting to see that happen.
And who are some of the name guys on the promotion shows?
Well, one of the guys that was here not too long back, Pitbull Gary Wolf.
Yeah, we love Pitbull. He's a semi-regular here, like you.
Yeah, pretty much, right? Yeah. Well, I'm semi-irregular, but that's
that happens with age.
Yeah, tell me about it. You look at your watch, and still don't know what time it is. Now, I think of other guys that are coming on. We've had people like X-Pac, had folks that have just been out there. Tommy Dreamer was just out there recently. Wow. Sandman, Big Vito. A lot of young talent that's in there. You have Too Hot Steve Scott, who was the heavyweight champion for that place. You have Big Vinny DeMarco, Biggie Biggs. A lot of the guys on the independent scene, like we talked about before, about connecting. And Young Street was talking about how he goes out and he's pressing flesh with people and sitting there shaking hands and having conversation with folks. That's the up close and personal. That's what you get. And that's what you have at an independent wrestling show.
That's
that
right.
$500 front row ticket seat you get in Madison Square Garden, you're not going to be able to actually sit there, have a conversation, get a selfie with one of the guys. So this is where the indie shows are nice, where you get some of the guys that are off the road. Now you can actually see these guys without having to get out your opera glasses and try to, focus in because you're up there with the nosebleeds.
Steve's a big indie wrestling fan.
Oh, I really am, because it's too much of a spectacle with WWE. You're right there. I mean, you can see the sweat pouring down the guy's face.
It's like minor league baseball. You're up close and personal. Fun. It's a cheap night out.
Absolutely.
It's a lot
of
fun.
And you're really on top of the action. Yeah. I prefer indie to
and March 20th, Jack Sabbath and ICW is coming back to the Elks Lodge. Jack's a good friend of mine, and we'll get some of his people on the show. And I just want to mention Wrestle Kingdom 9, New Japan Pro Wrestling was amazing. Ring of Honor pay-per-view was great, and the NXT live show was also very good. It's WWE, ironically, that bores me out of my mind.
Well, the young guys that are hungry are the ones that really do the better performance. You get the guys that are permanent fixtures there for 13, 14 years. It just gets, like you say, the John Cena versus Randy Orton for the,
319 times. For real, no exaggeration.
And Evan's actually keeping count, because I actually see on
I read it on the internet.
There it is.
32 times the Big Show turned. 32 times. How do you care after a while?
Well, wrestling fans are chameleons, and especially now with the way that they have the WWE universe. Now they're out there, they're like cheerleaders, clapping and repeating things, and it's like, wow, this is so different from watching Bruno Sammartino in the Garden having his opponent down in a headlock for 10 minutes and no one's yelling boring. People are screaming. Exactly. The old Italian ladies, Bruno, in the front row. Yeah. So it was, it's a big change now. It's I guess right now everything's marketing towards getting these guys into these cheap B movies that Titan Sports is putting out.
And I want to acknowledge Lucha Underground on the El Rey Network, Robert Rodriguez's network. That's an amazing show. So there is quality wrestling out there if you pick and choose and look around. So
you got to shop around.
Exactly,
much,
like anything else.
Just don't go for the expensive thing on the rack. Sometimes it's better to go to the clearance rack and actually find something that it was marked down from a big price. Sometimes you get better quality in things that are less expensive.
It's like hip-hop. We have indie hip-hop artists on almost every week. And there's so much great talent out of New York. Cooley High, So Soon, Ms. P, At Last. I mean, on and on and on. There's so many great indie artists in New York. And some of the commercial artists, they're doing crap, and the indie artists are doing great work. And unfortunately, they're not getting the exposure they deserve.
Believe us, who's the most hungry? I guess once you get to a certain spot, you stop the climb. Now you just plateaued.
So, Young Street, who should we look for as far as indie hip hop artists that you like?
I actually heard some of Atlas music.
Yeah, great.
Her music is real good.
Yeah.
I like it. But it's a few artists that I listen to underground. Like, I like an artist from Texas named Zero. And he had a little success with mainstream, but he's an underground artist.
Spell it. So the
Z-R-O.
Okay, so
Z-R-O. Look
right.
Zero up, and his music is authentic, man. He talk about life and the struggle, and just trying to make it, trying to avoid doing things like hustling, and I understand, I can relate, and his music is good. Another dude, Kevin Gates, I like his songs for the ladies. A lot of different situations I can relate to. So these are underground artists just trying to rise.
The theme of our show is by Cooley High out of New York. He's an amazing producer, performer. He's great. He's great. So, guys, we have to wrap up this segment. Steve, plug your radio show.
Yeah, Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture at planetludwig.com. We have Dick Dale, King of the Surf Guitar.
There you go.
And he's probably best known for the song Miserlou.
We're going to try to get him on here live. Yeah.
And I think Black Eyed Peas sampled it and Pump It most recently.
Interesting.
So, Musicians Hall of Fame. One thing, Evan, I didn't catch Young Street's website, if you have a website.
Oh, yeah, you can look me up, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Young Street.
And spell your name one more time.
Y-U-N-G-S-T-R-E-A-T, because we got to eat in these streets.
Okay.
Oh.
Or you'll starve. You don't want to starve.
Okay. All right.
And I always mean to mention this each week. Your book is so great, Evan. Maybe you can tell the audience
thank
a bit
you.
about
Apartment
yours.
4B, like in Brooklyn, about the turbulent East Flatbush of the 60s and 70s, and a lot of pop culture as well, so you'll enjoy that. And Chris, any website, Facebook, anything you want to plug?
Well, there's original Chris Michaels on Facebook. You can find me on there. And then any other information that you want to go. Also, go on Wikipedia. Look up Chris Michaels on Wikipedia. There's also information on there as well.
All right. And when we come back, Raniere Martin will return, along with legendary producer, songwriter. We are honored to have him today, Bobby Eli. Don't you dare go anywhere, folks.
Hi, my name is Dr. Tom Dow. We have a multidiscipline practice in Melville and Ronkonkoma, New York, and we treat patients with many, many different conditions, from newborns through geriatric patients with numerous different techniques. There's a technique and a type of treatment for every class of patient. We have them all here. Here's my son Thomas, also a doctor of chiropractic, working on one of our patients' cervical spine. This patient has had chronic neck pain for many, many, many years, has been to a multitude of different practitioners with little or no response. And with our specialized techniques, she has improved tremendously and continues to improve on a daily basis. We have two practices, one in Melville and one in Ronkonkoma, New York. We are a multidiscipline chiropractic office. What that means is we have chiropractors, massage therapists, acupuncturists, psychologists, all working as a team and a network of outside professionals such as orthopedists and neurologists that we work hand in hand with to help determine what your injuries are and the best way to treat your injuries. I have the great pleasure of having my son in practice with me. We work hand in hand, father and son, to give our patients the best care possible, and a staff which is loving, caring, and you'll never have to wait at all in our office for service. Many times patients come into our office and they have what's called a soft tissue injury. Soft tissue injuries are like scars inside your body. If you've ever been cut on the outside of your body, you get a scar. The same thing happens inside of your body to your muscles and ligaments. So our job is to determine where those are, stretch the muscles, adjust the vertebra back into their correct position, and then refortify the normal structure with exercise. That's what we do best, and I hope someday you'll come see us at one of our 2 offices. Thank you.
Yo, what's up, y'all? This is me, GMC, in the place to be, the greatest MC in history. There will never be an MC greater than me. And right about now, the only place for you to be is with your one and only Madhouse TV.
You are the man.
Okay, I need my kaleidoscope of colors to lead the way. I'm riding in my car and I'm coming on around the bend. It's a chase, this twisted race, I'll be on top again. Be the whole 9 yards or nothing.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen. And what an honor it is to have Mr. Bobby Eli and Raniere Martin, who performed for us earlier. And all the way from Philly? You live in Philly?
All the way from Philly.
How long a trip is that to way out here on Long Island?
3.5 hours.
3.5 hours. Wow.
With no traffic, right?
Not very much.
Right.
There you go. There you go. And Bobby, you've written Just Don't Want to Be Lonely and Sideshow, and you've worked with some of the biggest names in the history of the business, the Jacksons and George Clinton and all the great Philly acts. Tell us a little about your history.
The history? Well, I started off on the deck of the Titanic as it was going down. No,
yeah, that was a rough day.
Just kidding. Well, I'm a child of North Philadelphia, and I started out playing stringed instruments when I was a kid. And back when I was about 14, 15, I started doing local gigs. And at one of these gigs, I met a guy named Kenny Gamble who just happened to be in the neighborhood. He was a lab tech at Misericordia Hospital who sang on the side. And one thing led to another. He liked the way I played the guitar. I liked the way he sang. I took him over to meet my mother, and I said, "Mom, this is Kenny. He writes songs." And he drove an old 1964 Plymouth with a torn convertible top.
Wow.
Not anymore, though. He doesn't.
From the legendary Gamble and Huff.
Gamble. Yeah, so anyway, we met, and around the same time I met Leon Huff. Actually, I met Huff before that at a cabaret dance. And one thing led to another. They started their record labels, and as a result, a bunch of musicians who we kind of all knew each other from the neighborhood. We formed a little studio band.
MFSB.
Yeah, but it was an evolutionary process, and started with someone I knew needed a bass player for a session. I recommended Ronnie Baker. Ronnie Baker's girlfriend's brother was Norman Harris, who played guitar. Then Earl Young came after that. We started out early on with Barbara Mason's sessions, Yes, I'm Ready, and all that, and it just sort of evolved from there.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's still evolving.
It's hard to believe that some of these songs are going on a half century, and these songs are going to live forever. I mean, forever. 100 years from now, they'll be listening to them. How's it feel to know that your work will live always?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. I mean, I had no idea back then. Well, it really hasn't been a half century. I was the baby of the bunch. Other people, I could say, were a half century or more. Right. But I was kind of, I was the young guy.
Right.
I'm still relatively young, contrary to what people may think.
That's right. That's right.
I think as long as we're alive, we're young.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a good. I never ever thought back then that these songs would be remembered and celebrated.
They're revered.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we were just doing a gig, man, like we were going to work at an office, like working at Comcast or something, you know. Right. But yeah, I mean,
babies have been made to these songs.
Babies have been made.
That's right.
I was not one of them to make the babies. Friends of mine have, though, in certain particular songs.
What's your estimate for how many babies have been made to Love Won't Let Me Wait?
Jesus.
Yeah.
We've probably got the population of half the population of Philadelphia, and then some.
Wow.
It's nice to know, it's nice to know that something as sensual. Back then, it was just a sensual song. It wasn't intended to be
to make babies.
Orgasmic. Yeah, it wasn't intended. I mean, it was implied, sort of, kind of. But now, by today's standards, it's very mild.
Sure.
And of course, Donna Summer did "Love to Love You, Baby." By then, that was like, oh my God. Yeah. She's having a what? A big O on the record? Pray tell. So, but it's mild by comparison. People are doing way more these days, and that was like nothing. But yeah, it's a good thing.
And since you brought up Donna Summer, she would not do "Love to Love You, Baby" because she got very religious and spiritual. Out of all the great singers, why have you chosen Donna Summer to honor?
I think indirectly she chose me.
Okay.
Indirectly. I was just blessed to have that tone that Donna has, and actually.
You have a beautiful voice, by the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Actually, on the radio was the first 45 that my mother bought me. So 6 years old, what do kids do? They imitate what they hear.
Right.
And so I played that song over and over and over, and to this day, that's my signature song. That's probably the song that I sound closest to Donna.
And who are some of the other female vocalists that have inspired you?
I love Toni Braxton, Vanessa Williams. There's tons. Ledisi, she's awesome.
Ledisi is great.
She's awesome.
You know who I love? Avery Sunshine.
She's good.
Right.
She's good as well. She's good. There's so many.
Millie Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of risque, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like her too.
So you've been with Legends in concert, and you've played all over the world. Tell us about that experience.
Actually, it was a blessing. I was in the right place at the right time. Actually, I had given up on singing. I tried in my 20s really hard to make it, and basically I wasn't meeting the right people, not in the right place, and so I finally, towards the end of my 20s, I said, you know what, I'm giving up because it's just too hard, and maybe it's not meant for me. And so I got married and had 2 beautiful daughters, and then I guess about 2 years ago, I started to get the itch to sing. Mm-hmm. So I just, started doing little things here and there, and then my family, my husband and my daughters, we usually vacation at Bally's in Atlantic City. So we're staying, I see signs all over the place, Legends in Concert, Legends in Concert. So I looked at my husband and I said, should I? I said, no, forget it, been there, done that. Right. So make a long story short, I went and inquired about it, and I ended up knowing one of the lead dancers, Raniere. And so basically she forwarded my tape to the headquarters in Las Vegas, and pretty much I heard back from them. It was pretty much like, okay, that's good, we'll keep it on file type of thing. And the rest of the day I just cried, and I said, see, this is exactly why I stopped. Yeah. And then later that day I got an email asking could I come to Atlantic City like immediately. They had a Donna Summer that was due to come like in a week, and she took ill, and I got the job right on the spot.
Meant to be.
Meant to be.
And what were some of the highlights of doing this? You must have played some beautiful venues.
I basically did Atlantic City because I do work a full-time job, so I'm not able to travel to all the venues. So basically, it was Atlantic City, and then I did do the Gateway Playhouse here for a week the summer that just passed. But it was amazing. The people are just, you know, the response that I get after the shows, we do a meet and greet, you know, actually bring me to tears because they just come. They come with all types of stories, how they love Donna and how, you know, down to earth she was. She wasn't a big diva, and they tell me stories. So I learn more about her doing it, and then, you know, they come.
I saw her live. Tremendous voice.
Beautiful.
Tremendous
Her voice is out of this world. It was out of this world. But basically, you know, they come with tears in their eyes and saying, like, you don't know what, you bought a piece of her back. So that means a lot.
Sure. R.I.P. to Donna and Major Harris.
That's
who
right.
passed not all that long ago. And what do you think when you hear people say things like, you know, blues are dead and jazz is dead and R&B is dead? I think that's absurd. I mean,
think so.
What's your take on that?
It's all music, man. You know, there shouldn't be any kind of definitions or separate genres. You know, it's all music. You know, it's either good or bad. You know, so I don't.
Duke Ellington said that.
Pardon me?
Duke Ellington said that. There's only two kinds of music, good and bad.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Man. That's true. And, you know, even like in the UK, there's one major chart which reflects all kinds of music. I mean, you might see, you know, Frank Sinatra next to like a rapper on the next slot, something like that. You know, that's just like one way of putting it. But yeah, I mean, there are separate charts, like subcharts, but the main chart is varied, which it should be here. You know,
we've mentioned this before. That's how it was in the '60s, Mr. Relay. It was Frank Sinatra, Tiny Tim,
yeah, like
Doors,
yeah,
Doors, all in the one countdown.
Motown, Stax,
exactly.
Absolutely. When I was in Paris recently, I was in the subway, and they're playing all kinds of music. Everything from traditional French music to hip hop to you know, American hits. I mean, it's just if it's good, it's good. That's and I don't know why in America everything is so regimented. Like I grew up on Frankie Crocker. We always talk about Frankie Crocker here. He played everything, everything.
Why is that? Why is it so regimented in America?
I think everything became more corporate. What do you think?
That's exactly what happened. Yeah, corporate product placement in videos. Yeah, it's not really about the music. It's about selling product. Exactly. You know, selling refrigerators or something. I mean, generally electric. I mean, it's the soul is lost. Not for long though, because we're doing our best in Philly at our studio to bring real music back.
Tell us about your studio and some of the artists you work with.
Well, my studio is called the Groove Yard, near the graveyard across the street from a tombstone dealer.
Okay.
Hence the name. Hence the name. So I opened the place up in '05, and you know, started right off with people like Denise Williams, George Clinton, a group called...
George is my hero.
He's your hero?
I love George.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He's quite intelligent.
I saw him a few weeks ago. He did 3.5 hours. He's 73 years old. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It's amazing.
That's right. So eventually, I started a little, you know, production company / soon-to-be label, and Miss Martin here is one of our first artists, as well as a fellow named Dennis Youngblood Taylor, who's an 18-year-old white soul man from Boston, Mass, who has the heart and soul of a black guy twice his age. For real, for real. I mean,
we're looking forward to having him on the show.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So, you know, Raniere and Dennis are the first two artists that we're really going to concentrate on to make happen.
So I have a big question for you.
Yeah.
There's so many great artists out there. What did you see in Raniere? I mean, there's obviously you have an incredible voice. What made you choose her as somebody who's worked with everybody?
Here's the story. She was always nearby in spirit. You know, she doesn't live that far from the studio, and we knew of each other, you know, for quite a while. And then a friend of mine who's been very instrumental in the past by hooking me up with people that I've had lifelong relationships with, just happened to introduce Raniere to me. and I took a liking to her. She's very talented. She has a great work ethic, you know, which is very impressive to me. And then she played me a bunch of songs that she had done, including a country song called Feed Jake, about a dog. It just floored me. I says, wow. And she had the right vocal cry in her voice to pull it off. And I says, wow, this. So she does country, she does R&B, she does everything. You know, so that's impressive to me. You know, so now we're working on a CD, little by little, picking the right songs. We're very particular about songs. So no matter where they come from, because a hit is a hit is a hit.
That's
you know,
right.
It could come from East Chaplip somewhere. It doesn't
That's
matter.
right.
You know.
That's right.
So yeah, we're working really diligently on that. And Dennis is coming in Thursday, and we're going to do some duets together as well.
Awesome.
He's amazing.
Oh yeah, I
He's
saw
amazing.
YouTube videos. Great,
Amazing.
great. Another great young white R&B singer, St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
Oh, yeah.
I was telling you about them.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I saw them at Lincoln Center with the great Bobby Patterson and Charles Bradley, and they held their own. They were great.
I got to look them up online.
Yeah.
St. Paul and the Broken Bones.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
And they're from Minnesota too, right?
I believe Minnesota, Midwest.
Be right by the Groove Yard, Broken Bones.
Right by the yeah, really.
Well.
The theme here.
Right.
In fact, my motto for the Groove Yard is I forgot my own motto. Hello, help me.
Yeah.
You know, where real music is written in stone and the groove is bad to the bone.
There you
go.
go.
That's my
There you
motto.
go. That's catchy.
Yeah. So if you go 2 doors down, you'll see it's a Jewish cemetery, by the way. You know, and a friend of mine's cat is buried there. Well, his grandfather is buried there, and he buried his cat in the same plot. Just thought I'd mention that. You know? So if
like Egyptian pharaohs did stuff like that.
Kind of like that. And if your career doesn't make it, you can go across the street and get your headstone.
That's right. One-stop shopping.
One stop, baby.
It's great. It's great. And when you look back at your career, Mr. Eli, you've worked with everybody. Any particular highlights stand out?
Well, highlights.
What are you proudest of?
Wow, you got me. I'm just proud to be still on this planet, you know, still making great music with great artists such as Miss Martin here.
It's beautiful.
But you know, I'm certain artists in the past stand out, like the OJs, for instance.
Oh, yeah.
You know, thinking about certain sessions for the Love of Money,
right.
That stands out. All the Spinners records, Sadie.
I love this.
You know, Love Don't Love Nobody,
Said the magic words
Mighty
to
Love.
Yeah.
Being in the studio and watching people like Felipe Wynn singing Mighty Love.
The late, great Felipe
It was like
Wynn.
being in church, you know.
Yeah. He went to P-Funk later. Felipe Wynn was amazing.
Yeah, man, God. Just learning from people like Gamble and Huff and Tom Bell especially. Those are my teachers, mentors. You know, they just from absorbing what they did, what they wrote and produced in the studio. Just thank God I have a good memory and recollection. I was probably an elephant in a former lifetime.
Right.
Still am, actually.
When we interview legendary R&B artists, inevitably, like Billy Paul, for example, he'll say to us, I make most of my living in Europe and Asia.
Right.
Why is that? Why does America kind of forget about...
It's not so much that. What happened was Me and Mrs. Jones was such a huge record, right? Huge. And the thing is, they followed it up with a song called Am I Black Enough For You?
Right.
Which in 1972 was not the thing to do. You know, they should, because it was too political for the times. You know, they should have followed it up with a song similar to Me and Mrs. Jones, another, you know, love ballad. So that kind of hurt him. However, in other countries, it didn't really matter, you know, because especially, I'll tell you, he goes to South America a lot. He's like, in Brazil, he's like the Beatles.
Right.
You know, in Japan, I mean, he's huge, man. You know, and people from other countries embrace artists such as Billy and other artists.
Jimmy Ruffin and guys like that moved over there.
He lived there for a long time. Edwin Starr lived there until he died. Of course, the people overseas embrace them. You know, they give them their props, unlike people here in the States or here in Philly. I mean, Hall & Oates didn't make it until they went to New York.
Right.
And they're from the Philadelphia area. You know,
We go every year to the 70s Soul Jam. You know, Stylistic, Stelphonic.
Sure.
Blue Magic's on it this year.
Yeah.
We love that. We love it. So there is an audience still out there. They pack those theaters, and they're
very
3,700 seats or so, the Beacon.
You know, it's funny, too. Mr. Eli mentioned the Beatles in England, in Liverpool. They were just kind of like, you know, they're our kids, so we're not going to go too crazy about them. And they really didn't become big until they went to another country, America.
Right.
So it kind of works the same way. You know, America, it's like, yeah, we know you, you're here, but over in Europe, you're like special, and vice versa with the Beatles.
Interesting, interesting.
And for instance, like in, let's say England, for instance, the shelf life of an artist, even somebody like George Michael or something, you know, the shelf life isn't as long. Whereas here, on the flip of the coin, the shelf life is longer. I mean, George Michael might just last for a hot second, or even artists such as him. So it's like a reverse situation, you know.
Right.
There are English artists who are, you know, R&B. A lot of the local R&B singers over there, other than Sade and people like that, really didn't see the light of day. Only like a handful, you know, which is kind of unusual, you know.
Right. Well, before we lose track of the time, we want to show you videos. These are promos for upcoming tours. Tell us a little about this and set up the videos. Actually,
Bobby and I, we're working to put a production together called Gone But Not Forgotten that will feature Donna Summer, Barry White, Teddy Pendergrass, Luther Vandross, and Michael Jackson. And then we'll have others coming and going.
And it's hard to believe they're all gone. It's
I know,
hard to believe.
I know. And that's why we want to focus on that. You know, this has been my baby for like the last 2 years, and I brought it to Bobby's attention, and the light bulb went off. He saw my vision.
I think there's definitely a market for that.
Amazing.
Definitely.
It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is.
Okay. So, and there's another video as well?
And it's my promo video just showing different clips of me doing Donna for the span that I had for the last couple of years.
Okay, so let's see Raniere Martin in action with these two videos, folks.
A chair is still a chair, even when there's no one sitting there. But a chair is not a house, and a house is not a home when there's no one there to hold you tight. Ain't no one there you can kiss good night.
Let me see you move, Baby, love never felt so good, and I knew that it never could. And I let you hold me. And I Can't believe I can't take it, 'cause
Come on, get up, get down, get funky, get loose. Come on, get up, get down, get funky, get loose. What you come out here for? 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 Do you wanna party? Yeah. Do you wanna jam? Yeah. Come on, people. Down, 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 down.
Wait, stop. I changed my mind. I don't think I want to do that song. Wait, you know why? Because I was just actually thinking of one of my other hits, and it's very near and dear to my heart because I won an Academy Award for it in 1976. And it was in a movie. Does anybody know what the name of that movie is? Last Dance is the name of the song, but what was the name of the movie? All these dinosaur fans out here, but nobody knows the name of the movie. Bodyguard. That's Whitney Houston. Okay. Thank God it's Friday.
All right, and we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and we only have a few minutes.
Amazing.
Amazing, amazing. And next week we have Kyle Ingram, the legendary Butch Ingram's son with Peyote Vision. They're going to be performing live. And I just wanted to mention that you recently met Donna Summer's family. Tell us briefly about that.
I did. I was blessed. I was invited to Boston to sing at her high school. They
Wow.
were having they had a mural done. So
What did that mean to you?
Oh my God, like nothing that I ever imagined would happen. And just the response that I got from her family, you know, it was amazing. Nothing that I ever thought I would, you know. They gave me their blessings, and they didn't know. I met two of her sisters and her brother and a host of nieces and nephews, and basically, you know, they were amazed, and they just told me to keep doing what I'm doing.
That's great. So you got an endorsement, you got their blessing. That's not always the case in
That's
scenarios
right.
like this.
That's right.
And all, I'm sorry, and all because just because you looked at a poster in Atlantic City and said, should I? And
Pretty
you
much.
never really know. Really,
That's where I got my
You
start.
never really know where
Absolutely.
things will lead.
Absolutely.
Interesting the way things happen.
That's true.
And please, plug any websites, social media.
I have a website. It's ranieresings.com.
And spell it, please.
RAINERE Sings, SINGS.com. Raniere Sings. And then I'm on Facebook under Raniere Martin, Donna Summer Tribute Artist.
Okay. Any upcoming gigs you'd like to mention?
Yes, Bobby and I, we're promoting with the help of Rob Russin. He's amazing. He's amazing. We're putting the production to Going But Not Forgotten. We're going to be in the States. We're going overseas. It's going to be big. As you can see, the talent is just out of this world.
That's great.
So
That's great. Mr. Eli, anything you'd like to mention, plug?
Yeah, I'm just looking forward to 2015. I know it's going to be a banner year for us. And we're just warming up. And as they say, it ain't over until the fat lady sings. And she is still on the wings and she ain't coming out, ever.
All right, all right.
And if I'm lying, I'm flying. My wings are in the pawn shop, as they say.
There you go, there you go. And Steve, one more time, your radio show, please.
Steve Ludwig's Classic Pop Culture, planetludwig.com. We had Billy Paul on that time. This week it's
Tell us about some of the great R&B artists you've had on.
Oh my goodness, R&B artists. We've had Martha Wash from the Weather Girls, more disco, but Billy Paul, Little Anthony, and then kind of like just great rockers, Tommy James, Tommy Rowe. Like I said, Dick Dale is on this week, King of the Surf Guitar. Just
Awesome.
it's it's like a dream come true. I talk to people that I've admired growing up, and it's like I'm speaking with these people.
Speaking of that, one final question just popped in my head. Has there been anybody, Mr. Eli, where you said, wow, I can't believe I'm working with this person?
I did an album on Engelbert Humperdinck. A lot of people don't know that, but I don't mention it much because I figured it would destroy my street credibility. But yeah, and he was the nicest guy, I brought him into Sigma Sound and had MFSB in the studio, so it was kind of like Engelbert meets the Spinners.
Interesting.
You know, it was great. I mean, all of the artists I've worked with, I've worked with a lot of, so-called legends, and it was all a great experience. Everybody's nice, man. We all bleed the same. We all go to the bathroom the same. Just people doing their job, man.
I think that message needs to be out there today.
Yeah.
Right?
It ain't about the bling, man. It's about the sing.
That's right. That's right. The great wisdom from Mr. Eli.
Hey.
And we must wrap it up. Thank you so much for appearing on Legends TV. We are honored. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, folks. And we'll be back next week. Thank you for listening.